Oh, yeah. Freak out. Yeah, I'm looking right into the video scope, And this is Macho Man, #1 Macho Man impersonator, past, present, future, yeah. And I'm here to tell you, you are watching 49er Minded with Bashar. Yeah, the cream of the crop. Dig it?
49er mind is
It's not just a thought process, but a way of life.
49er minded. 49er minded.
Can't shake it. It's 49er mind that I got. It's 49er shine that I got. My psyche's on another Frisco Super Bowl. Don't sit slow, cause here we go with a super show. A written go session about our red and gold obsession. With some well-controlled expressions, let's talk about that win that we got. Who should have been in the spot? That's how they spin in the spot. Let's all that back, all that crack, all that strip, fumble sack. Or just dial it on up if you wanna talk smack. It don't matter what the story on, as long as the story aligns with a 49er mind.
49er minded.
It's not just a thought process,
49er minded.
but a way of life. Bashar.
49er minded.
Way of life.
49er minded.
What is up, everybody? I know you guys are all excited. You guys are all happy. We just beat the Seattle Seahawks. And, I got to say what's up to some people waiting patiently in the chat room right now that just hopped in earlier before the show even started. They were already here. We got Kenny. Kenny says the #1 defense, #1 offense, #1 in yak, #1 run game, #1 quarterback. Okay, let's go, baby. #1 everything. What up, Werowski? How you doing? Let's go, baby. Jesus Christ, my king's here, says Brock Purdy. Who else is here? John Lynch says, what's good? And who else is here? E. Kim. What's up, E. Kim? Famous caller for the Grant Cohn Show, Korean 49er, says, hey, Bashar, good win and enough to work on for next week. Yeah, there's always something to work on. What up, Brandon? From Forever Faithful Podcast. Raphael is here, 562niners. Says, like and subscribe, everyone. We got Nighthawk. He be a legend in these YouTube streets. And who else is here? Oh, my guest, Aaron from 49ers First Takes, the guy who I collab with all the time on his channel. I finally have you back on my channel. You called in last night, but I finally have you back on as legit full guest, and I'm really excited to have you on, man.
Oh my God. I was contemplating whether to do this just because my technology has been acting up lately, but I'm like, you know what? I've been on Bashar's channel in over a year at least, and I don't really usually do post games, but I figured this one needed to be talked about. So what the hell? Let's do it.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna do it, man. There's a whole lot to talk about, man. I just, watching this game early on. I remember you called in yesterday. Let's go back to when you called in last night on the show, and great show last night. Great participation from the callers, and if we have time, we might open up the lines actually and bring in some callers today and bring in some extra people to talk about the game with us. The more the merrier, of course. So we'll definitely try to do that. But yesterday, we're trying to be positive on the show. And then here you come in. You're like, oh, I was watching nothing but Niners. And Mike said, hey, this team has nothing to lose. And, they have everything to gain. And, these are the kind of games where crazy things happen. And, teams like the 49ers falter to such teams like this. And then you just raised all this doubt in everybody's head. And while we were watching the game, the announcers were saying the same thing you were saying, man. I was like, damn, what's going on here?
Seattle had absolutely no reason. They didn't belong there. They were there just because that's just the way things worked out. That's the way the seating worked out, whatever. But they were playing with house money, and the Niners looked tight. I kind of had a feeling something like this was happening or was going to happen. It's weird. I'm on the fence because I'm like, I listened to my man Beto, and he's got me confident. So like, I start kind of going down that rabbit hole of like, yeah, we got this. What am I talking about, right? And then sure enough, the game plays out exactly as I predicted, as Mike predicted. I was definitely sweating. I was definitely upset. I was definitely tweeting stuff that was negative. And, but in the end, it all worked out. So that's just playoff football, I guess, and playing the same team 3 times in a row. I guess that's what happens, but no team's perfect, and the Niners are far from it.
Definitely. And then we're on a damn 10-game win streak. All right. 11-game win streak now is what we're talking about right now. I don't even want to count the win streak anymore. I just want to look at it as a week by week basis. Basically, is what I want to do. You know, a lot of us were expecting a major blowout in the beginning. It was super tight and super close, and you know, things weren't looking good early on. Let me just go ahead and because I have all my notes written out, and we're gonna do a full recap of this game. So just go ahead. I'm gonna get going from the full recap.
Do it.
We're gonna get started in the first quarter. So early in the first quarter, Geno Smith, the Seattle Seahawks had the ball first. Geno Smith did drop back on 3rd and 2. Immediately gets sacked by Eric Armstead, which is great because you still have these Eric Armstead doubters, and I just think that our D line's a much better defensive line when Eric Armstead's out there.
Yeah, Eric Armstead to me is somebody that I wasn't a big fan of early on in his career during the other coaching regimes, but he's grown on me, and I think the Shanahan-Lynch regime has gotten the best out of him. I don't think he was his best self. He was off injured early in his career. And since this regime took over from, like, I'd say 2019 on, he's been one of our most healthiest and most effective defensive interior linemen that we've had in quite some time. You know, the Niners, in theory, made the right choice when they got rid of Buckner, you know, and they were just going to draft his replacement, you know, because that's how you elongate things. That's how you were able to afford other players. And you have to make moves like that. And, you know, I still think DeForest Buckner overall is a better player. But to say that Eric Armstead has played well these last couple of years is it's not an over-dramatization. He was very vital. I think we missed him early in the season. And that first sack in the beginning of the game, man, I thought we were going to get like 6, 8, 10 sacks in this game, the way it started. But yeah, he looked good early on.
Yeah, Seattle's own line clamped up. That's for sure. We have a Seattle Seahawks fan in the chat. He's my first cousin, actually. A great guy, amazing guy. Francis Hike, how you doing? Great to see you. Very supportive. He knew that he had a good feeling that we were going to win, and he gave the 49ers a lot of compliments. After the game, he sent me a few texts, and just a great guy. And Seattle's had their way with us for God knows how many years. So, you know, the tables do turn every now and then. So maybe that's what we see. We got Clown Man in the chat. Clown Man saying woohoo, or he's always saying woo, like Ric Flair. I can't do it. He can do it great. I wish I could have him on the show, call in one day. I'm actually thinking about putting the link up once we finish the review of the stats and the big plays, and we'll definitely try to bring some people on. Kenny says, Dre Greenlaw scared the shit out of me when he went down. Yeah, I was like, oh, great. Yeah. Here goes Greenlaw with another injury. But let's go ahead and go back to the first half recap. After Armstead had that big sack, 49ers first possession, Brock Purdy, 2nd and 10 on the 34-yard line, passes it to Brandon Ayuk in the middle of the field and at the 50-yard line, and Ayuk goes down to the 45, gain of 19. Great play there. The next play, Purdy takes a snap, hands it off to Brandon Ayuk, tosses it to the left-hand side of the field, actually to Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel hits the burst, takes it down all the way down to the 25-yard line. Soon after, the 49ers settle for a 34-yard field goal. I'm not used to field goals with Brock Purdy at quarterback. I'm used to it when Jimmy Garoppolo's playing and we get down close. But hey, you know, at the end of the day, you have to take points on the board.
Steve Young always says every time you kick a field goal, you're closer to losing. And that was kind of my mindset in this game. I thought
exactly.
Anytime you're in a playoff game, man, points are at a premium and you got to take advantage of it. I don't know, man. It's just a different feeling in the playoffs when you watch games. You know how crucial every single possession is. Like I said, and you're going against a team who had nothing to lose. So it's like, yeah, wasn't exactly happy. It wasn't the end of the day, but I was hoping we would have gotten a touchdown. But Robbie Gould came through, so yep.
Definitely. Yeah, you know, I mean, my friend Kenny in the chat says that we always make kickers famous.
Always.
You know, so yeah, but you know, not so much this year. We're finally getting the touchdowns in there. That's great to see. And soon after we get that field goal, Geno Smith has the ball, 4th and 2 at the 46-yard line. Geno Smith tries to run to the left-hand side of the field, and he gets tackled right away by Gibson for a huge loss. The Seahawks are forced to punt. The 49ers, then it's first down at the 15-yard line. CMC runs it to the left sideline, and boom, 66-yard run. I actually stepped away from my TV for a second when this happened, and I heard the crowd cheering, and I ran back to my TV to see what was going on, and I had to rewind it a little. But CMC, it looked like it was going to be a touchdown. CMC had daylight, Christian McCaffrey, that is, and they bring him down to the 20-yard line. Soon after, Brock Purdy, 2nd and 13, passes to Elijah Mitchell. He runs a little Texas route and takes his ball down to the 2-yard line. 2nd and goal, Brock Purdy checks it down to CMC. Touchdown 49ers, first touchdown pass of the day for Brock Purdy. The 49ers are up 10-0.
Yeah, it was par for the course. This seemed like this was going to be the beginning of a pretty easy game. And just that had the feel, we missed on our first opportunity, came back, got a touchdown, had a big defensive stop. And if you would have asked me how I felt after the 10-0 lead, I was thinking a blowout was imminent. And that Seattle had no chance, but it's why they play the game. So we were definitely in for a little bit of a stomach turner for a while, at least.
Yes, sir. Okay, so we have who do we have here? We got Sentinels here. What's up, Sentinel? Says woo. I can't do the woo like you guys. If you guys do that, Ric Flair, I can't hit those high notes. What up, 49ers throwback? I see you, bro. Great win. My cousin Francis says, haha, pretty good game. Glad Seattle could get things started for the Niners to make their run for the Super Bowl. Rick, he's always been supportive. He's not your typical Seahawks fan. This guy, he's like a little brother to me. This guy, he knows how passionate my brother, God rest his soul. He knows how passionate my brother and I have been about the Niners, and it just he really respects us in that regard, and I love him for it. Joey Mahoney's here. He says, "Bang bang Niner gang." Javier Rios, what's up, bro? He says, "Great game, fellas." Was a little worried too. Yeah, I was worried too, man. Let's go back to the recap. What else? Where did we leave off? So we got that touchdown with CMC. 49ers up 10-0. And then soon after, the Seattle Seahawks get the ball. They're moving the ball down the field fairly well. I mean, let's fast forward about 3rd and 4. 20 seconds left in the first quarter. Geno Smith throws it to Tyler Lockett on the right sideline. First down to 18-yard line. Soon after, it's 1st and goal at the 7-yard line. Kenneth Walker runs straight up to the left side, gets around the corner, and just burns our defense. Touchdown, Seattle Seahawks. Kenneth Walker's having a really good season, actually. And he had 1,000 yards for his rookie season. And next thing you know, the score is 49ers 10, Seattle 7.
Yeah, that was a long, annoying drive. The Niners have this issue lately where they can't get teams off the field on 3rd down. I don't know what it is. And, their defensive line early in the game, as far as the run game, they were getting gouged. That running back, I forget his name. I don't know if it's number 6 or number 9, whatever Seattle has. He was killing us. The one thing I noticed sometimes, or at least in some of the plays, is our defensive line getting washed out. We still don't have that super big interior guy that can anchor down like a Ted Washington. You know what I mean?
We thought it was going to be Kinlaw.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be Kinlaw, but he's not that guy at all. And it's a frustrating drive because I just in my mind I'm like, we are so superior to these guys. We shouldn't allow any points, but of course, football. They're in the NFL too, right? So they're going to score some points. But I was definitely frustrated to think that a team so inept. I mean, they're not inept, but I don't know, man. Like I look at them and I look at us and I look at our talent and I look at their team and I'm just like, this should not even be a ball game. So anytime that happens, there's definitely a cause for concern.
You got that right. What up, Platform 246? He says, Niner gang and don't bang. That's Lawrence Jackson. Had him on my channel before. He also says, what's happening? Great to see you, bro. Joey Mahoney says, our run defense was terrible in the first half. Nothing was short of 5 yards, 7, 8, 9 yards a clip. Yeah, they had, and they can run the ball good, man. And not everything's going to be easy in every single game. Even though statistically we have this amazing run defense, things aren't always going to be perfect. And Pete Carroll was a great coach, man. You can't as much as we don't like him, you just can't take that away from him.
We have to just come to the realization that I think a lot of us in the content creating community, fans, and even media members, they crown this defense too early in the year and calling it an elite defense. And I think we're a good defense. But to say elite defenses is just, this defense has holes that good teams can exploit. Mobile quarterbacks and teams that you have to account for the quarterback running, even if it's not on a consistent basis. Mobility always seem to give the Niners fits. And it just happens a lot of those teams like to run out of those same formations, option type things. And the Niners always seem to have a freaking issue with it. And it's like, it's never changed. So, you attack something until somebody stops it. And in that drive that Seattle didn't Seattle was unrelenting, and the Niners didn't really have an answer for it. So,
Okay, gotta say what's up to some people that just dropped in. John V, who does a great job of co-hosting with me on my post game shows. He's here. He's
Don,
watching.
what's
He's
up,
a little
man?
busy today, but great to see you in the chat. Johnson's
Nice.
bashing there, and I see you fellas. Great dude. Raphael 5629 says, "What's up?" Daryl Hicks is here. What's up, Daryl? Good to see you, man. He says we smashed them Seahawks. We sure did. Sea
Damn
chickens,
Skippy.
whatever you want to call them. Yeah, so let's go back to the recap. A little later in the game, what happened was the 49ers drove down the field, and we ended up settling for a field goal. And let me just go back to where we left off. So basically, it was 13-7. There are a few good passes and a few good plays here, but it was like third down at the 20-yard line, and we weren't able to they stopped us. Basically, they sacked us, and we got a field goal. So it was 13-7 at that point. Later in the second quarter, though, 5 minutes left, 3rd and 3, Seattle. Geno Smith drops back, airs it out to DK Metcalf on the left sideline, straight up burns our entire defense, and catches it at the 15 and is off to the races, basically. It just, oh my gosh, man, that was like a back-breaking play, man. And we saw how well Mooney Ward guarded DK Metcalf, but at that point it was 13. Oh, in the previous matchup, that is. But at that point it was 49ers 13, Seattle 14. What was going through your mind when you saw that big DK Metcalf touchdown?
Well, one, he's a physical freak, so it's not surprising. But it was surprising was the fact that he got shut down in the previous game in Seattle. So to see Mooney Ward struggle so much with him, and even on plays where the 49ers got stops or Mooney, it was incomplete, he had a hard time in this game. DK was getting past him. And I mean, DK's a big guy and he's really fast. Those vertical routes are killers, man. And, they're doing the Deion Sanders type thing where they're singling them up. Not much safety help there. If it's there, Tyshawn Gibson was way late on that one play.
Our safeties always seem late on these deep passes. That worries me a bit.
I don't know what was the reason for that. I don't know if it was a break in coverage. Niners were doing a lot of moving around in this game early on. It looked like there was a lot of confusion, or maybe they were seeing things that they hadn't seen. But I was watching the game and I was noticing a lot of communication, guys getting told to be put in spots. And I was surprised that play ended the way it did because of how good of a job he did in Seattle. And it's funny, somebody said on Twitter, we need to put Lenore back on that side because he seemed like he's doing a good job, which is crazy because of how much heat Lenore's been getting on Twitter. And I was telling my brother, I know this has nothing to do with that, he was liking a lot of the negativity that people were talking about him on Twitter during the week, Diamondor Lenore. So I found it interesting when he, we'll talk about it later, but what he did later in the game.
Oh yeah. I missed somebody in the chat. Where is he at? SEP from Niner Fanatic Podcast. I've been on his channel before. I'm going to try to get him on the show one of these days. Without a doubt. He's a great guy. Very knowledgeable about the 49ers. If I'm missing anybody, holler at me if I haven't said your name. Damian Lee's here. Not the NBA player. Says, what's up, Niner Faithful? Good to see you. Let's go back to the recap. So basically in the first half, where were we at? So looks like, so basically it was 49ers 13, Seattle 14 after the DK Metcalf touchdown. Further out, basically the 49ers drove the ball downfield, and they basically settled for another field goal. It was 49ers 16 and Seattle 13 at that point. And this is the backbreaker. 9 seconds left in the game, in the first half, that is. The Seahawks at the 38-yard line. Geno Smith drops back to pass, runs it up the middle of the field, slides at the 49-yard line, gets hit by Jimmy Ward, and next thing you know, it's a 15-yard penalty. The announcer's like, oh, well, that just takes the Seahawks to field goal range. And I was like, no way, they're that close. And boom, they make the field goal. Next thing you know, it's 49ers 16, Seattle 17 at the half, man. That pissed me off, man. I don't know about you.
It's weird because I agree how much I hate running quarterbacks. So part of me, as a person who has a temper, loved seeing the late hit. I was kind of like, yeah. And then at the same time, I was like, no. It was like, I don't know. And if you remember, Hiroski was saying the squib kick that preceded that happened. And then that kick, and then that penalty, you got to play smarter than that, man. You're a superior team in every single way.
I don't know if I'm not a fan of the squib kick, man.
Never have been either, especially when you kick it to the guy and he's, for some reason, the Niners have this problem getting him down. I don't know, man. I hate quarterbacks. I hate running quarterbacks. I understand the frustration that players get during games and wanting to smash somebody. But when you're that much of a better team than another team and you're giving them free yards and you're giving them a chance to take momentum into the half, which is what we gave them, you can't do that. So I know Kyle Shanahan was really pissed off about it. If you listen to the second half interview as they were coming back. So yeah, you got to play smarter than Jimmy Ward.
I heard about that.
I love Jimmy Ward. I love his veracity. I love his intensity, his physicality. But in a game where you don't really have that much margin for error, because it seems like the playoffs just do that, even to teams you're better than, you can't make those kind of mistakes or those kind of just loss in self-control. So, lucky for us, it didn't hurt us, but that was huge.
Definitely. So we're going to go to the second half of the game. We basically, let me just fast forward over to that part of the game really, really quick. Got my notes pulled up. Okay, so it started the third quarter, second and 10. Purdy drops back, hits Kittle at the San Francisco 40-yard line for a gain of 23 yards. Soon after, it was 3rd and 7 at the 37. Brock Purdy hits Deebo Samuel underneath, and Deebo Samuel takes it all the way to the 15-yard line for a gain of 22. And I was thinking before this game started, like, man, we haven't seen Deebo in a minute. And, maybe we finally see that big play threat again in our offense because Deebo, we've been winning all these games, scoring all these points without Deebo. Now that CMC's in the mix. And it'd be great to have that extra added superstar type talent. And boom, Deebo definitely did a few nice things today. Soon after that, we get the ball down at the 1 yard line though. And Brock Purdy just sneaks it in for a touchdown. He does what Jimmy G does well. He does a quarterback sneak. 49ers are up 23-17, man. So what were you thinking after you saw that drive?
Thought the Niners were going in the right direction. I in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, we got the lead, and now we have to capture this momentum going forward. You know what I mean? Like, it's so finite in the playoffs, momentum. I don't think people understand, and at least I didn't as a youngster, but watching football, me and you were in our 40s. Momentum is real in sports. It's super real. Like, momentum is everything, and it can snowball quick. So the fact that they came back, got that score, got the lead, and the arrow was starting to point in the right direction, and it was the beginning of some great things. So yeah, I was happy, and I felt, it's weird. I started to feel like, I think we got this game. We just got to do something on defense. That's what my thought was.
And hey, it didn't take long for that to happen. Let me say what's up to Steve Supremo. Says Jimmy Ward just did that so Purdy could get some adversity, and maybe, who knows, man. Whatever he did, it worked, kind of, I guess. So the team can get pumped up at the halftime. What up, Panama Queen? She's here. She says, "What up, Bash and Aaron?"
Hello.
This game stressed me out. I don't drink, but I do need one.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't drink. I definitely didn't drink, but man, this was the one game that Purdy played in where just my nerves were getting up, and I was feeling, even when we had the lead, just physically, I just felt uneasy. Usually I feel pretty calm during these games. John V says, "Oh my God, Bash, you're in your 40s. Goddamn, I thought you're at least 30. Oh man, yeah, I get it all the time. Hey,
yeah, you look like you're a sleek 25-year-old.
Oh yeah, man. They think I get carded all the time, guys. So, All right, so let's fast forward. So 49ers were up 23-17. Later in the third quarter, Seattle Seahawks were advancing down the field. Geno Smith was just dinking and ducking. He kept doing those stupid passes, the most predictable passes, I swear, in the NFL. He just throws little hitch routes, to the left side of the field, to the right side of the field by the sideline for 5 yards or whatever. And I'm thinking, dude, if one of our quarterbacks could just jump one of these routes, perhaps we could get an interception. Because I'm watching the game sitting on my ass at home eating potato chips, and I see where the ball is going. I have a good idea where the ball is going to go. Like, they should know because they're fucking paid millions of dollars to do this, but nobody jumps a route once, and they're just advancing down the field. Long story short, 3rd and 14 at the 19-yard line. Geno Smith drops back, and it looks like Seattle's about to score. But hey, what do you know? Charles Omenihu strips the ball out. Boom. Nick Bosa recovers it at the 30-yard line. Huge momentum swing.
Yep.
Well, yeah, it was just awesome, man. I love that play.
I don't like to say that we got this or like I think the game's ours, but at that point, I said to myself, if we score off this drive, the game's ours. And I just, it's the playoffs, man. We're at home, crowds going crazy. The sky opened up. It was beautiful outside at some points in the game. Man, that turnover to me, when I watch games where I'm stressed, I tend to slump over and stay really quiet. I used to flip out. And every so often I have these like really ridiculous outbursts. I'm like, oh, like when something happens, and that was one of them. So yeah, I got excited again. I started thinking we got this. I was stressed that we were in the position to where we needed something like that to kind of kickstart us. But at the same time, sometimes that's all it takes. And yeah, definitely was excited.
Yeah, or you could just be like John V and start throwing shit across the room and breaking windows.
Me
in the
and John
house
V
or touching walls
are more like, other than he's a really handsome guy, and I'm not so much when it comes to getting pissed off during games. I don't know. I think John's Italian, right?
He's Greek. He's
Greek. Okay, Italian, Greek. We're European. We're kind of intense individuals. So yeah, like if you watch Italians watch soccer back in the old days and stuff wasn't going their way, a TV might have got kicked in or something. So yeah, I lived through him because I used to be like that. But when I see him on Twitter and it's all caps and he's pissed, I'm exactly the same way. So totally understand.
Yeah. He owns and runs a restaurant. He locks himself back up in his office and starts yelling and screaming, and then his servers are knocking on the door. Hey,
I broke multiple things watching 49er games. I smashed a lamp one time mid-game and it sparked everywhere. And it was against Seattle. It was when Russell Wilson was there. I open hand slapped it. Go ahead.
I've never broken anything during any game, to be honest with you. I don't know how, but definitely dropped my share of F-bombs and whatever other curse words you could think of.
I was cursing during this one, for sure.
Yeah, I was cursing a little bit at points in times, but not too much. What up, G Rodacy? He says Brock Tana. Whoa, what a nickname there, Brock Tana. I don't want to say that. Whoa.
I'm liking that profile pic. It's kind of sweet.
For Brock, for G Rod right here, the helmet.
Yeah.
Melissa's here. What's up, Melissa? All the way in New Jersey. How you doing? Let's see. So what's up to Melissa?
She's a New Yorker like me. She understands.
Yeah. Oh, E. Kim has a score update. Chargers 30, Jaguars 20. What's up, Master Any Craft? Really good friend of mine. Says Troy been pointing out how Gino hangs in the pocket too long and it would work against him. Oh, great to hear that, man. Well, hey, it works. But Gino's not an easy guy to sack at times, though, too. He knows how to slither around.
He's a decent-sized guy.
Yeah. He's not the fastest guy, but he can move fairly well. He's got some good quickness, you could say. So let's so after Bosa does that amazing fumble recovery at the 30-yard line, we're off to the beginning of the fourth quarter. The ball's at the 49ers 40-yard line. Play action pass. Brock Purdy hits a diving Jawan Jennings at the 7-yard line. Great play on that one. And soon after, at this point in time, I was telling my friends this was the play of the game, but I think I kind of spoke a little too soon. But 2nd and goal. Purdy, this is at the 7-yard line. 2nd and goal. Brock Purdy, play action. Basically fakes the handoff to Elijah Mitchell. He's in trouble. He spins around and he's scrambling out. I'm like, what's he doing? Next thing you know, he runs and does a jump pass, an old school throwback jump pass to Elijah Mitchell at the 10, and he runs it in for a touchdown. So that was great, man. And then the 49ers were like, hey, we're going for 2. Purdy's like, we're going for 2. I guess Kyle told him, hey, let's just go for 2 on this one. Boom, 31-17 before you know it, man. That was awesome. That was a lot of fun to see, man, that drive.
Very Montana, young Garcia-esque on that scramble. I'm telling my brother, I said, Montana wasn't big. All right, he's taller than Purdy. But early in his career, before he got decimated by a lot of injuries, Montana could move. He was very mobile. Not Steve Young-esque, where he was bucking guys and running through guys, but the ability to keep a play going and let the defense break down on its own, overcommitting to something or, jumping to try to go after the quarterback, leaving someone open behind him. We've seen it a million times against us. Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, anybody who can move, we have problems with still. And it was nice to kind of give a taste of our own kind of medicine against us or for us against another team. And it was beautiful. I'll tell you that Brock kid, man, everything that happened in this game, I was kind of expecting. I thought he was going to be a little rough early. I thought he was going to be a little hyped early. Totally was. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm reading on Twitter and everyone's like, I'm telling you, man, Brock's going to get this. He's going to calm down. It might even have been John who said it or somebody else. And sure enough, plays like that, man, you keep it alive. I knew the running back was kind of out of the screen for a second, but the sound of the crowd made me understand that like somebody was wide open just by the way it happened. And then sure enough, Elijah Mitchell. So it was great, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, what's on platform 246 saying? He said clearly a competition next year. And Brock, these guys are already jumping over to next year about Trey Lance and Brock Purdy, man.
Come on, guys. Let's
yeah, let's see how this season plays out, and we'll figure out what goes on next year. But we're gonna have a lot of fun, I think, with this off season. So hopefully, you never know what can happen. Hopefully, we come out on top. That's the ultimate goal. I don't like talking about it, but this is the ultimate goal. And some of the players do mention in the interview. So that's why they played the playoffs. That's why we played the games. That's why they played the games.
Hello.
So let's go back to the fourth quarter. It was 31-17. Further in the fourth quarter, the 49ers had the ball. Second and eight, the 25-yard line. The play action pass, and Purdy throws to a wide open Debo on the left side of the field at the 35, 10 yards down the field. And the blocking was sensational, man. Brandon Ayuk, whoever was in front of him, Brandon Ayuk had a great seal block. First, I didn't think this would be a touchdown. The next thing you know, Debo just explodes on the left sideline. Boom. It's an amazing touchdown. One of those huge, exciting Debo Samuel type touchdowns. I believe it was a 75-yarder, if I'm not mistaken, man. 38-17 at that point.
Yeah, I came into the living room because my brother was watching it in the living room, even though I was in my room. And he's like, and the game's over. Man, I'll tell you, I miss Debo. And now I realize.
Did your brother spoil that play for you?
No. I had my door shut, and I let out these really weird, kind of uncomfortable yelps when the Niners do stuff good. And, I came out, and of course, my brother was sitting out there, and he's just like, man, you guys got so many weapons. I'm like, right. I was like, it was so nice to see Debo after all that BS early in the game with them trying to hurt him and stuff, playing dirty. It was kind of like, there you go, stick it up your ass, right? So, yeah, I was really excited on that. And Kyle was doing a lot of stuff today where, like, he was sucking defense one way and having guys run across wide open. He was taking Danny Gray deep, pulling coverage, the long way, and then having somebody run underneath it across the field. If you watch that Debo play, most of the defense was on the right side of the field. It was Brandon Ayuk and that. I feel bad for that corner, and it was green grass, man. That is on Debo. That's on Kyle Shanahan and his ability to call plays, and that's on Purdy putting the ball where it's supposed to be. So, man, that was great. What are you giggling about?
I'm sorry. Somebody sent me something on my phone, and I can't stop laughing. Sorry about that, guys. So I'm so sorry. I apologize. Nighter Fanatics here. He says, "What's up?" Says Purdy played great. He has a knack for just keeping the offense steady. This was the game. I didn't talk about the bad plays but this was the game, especially in the first half, where I was like, "Oh no, Purdy's starting to look like a rookie now. This is not good." I'm not sure if you had that feeling. Usually, I have a very calm feeling about Brock Purdy, where I never stress out. And early in the game, I was a little antsy, and I was like, dang, man, I hope this isn't the game where he throws an interception or two and it hurts us and kills us. And we all know about that Seattle rivalry. Were you ever thinking that about at all? Or?
Oh, absolutely. I thought this was going to be the game where the Niners were going to fall on their face at points, not the whole game. I'm paying attention to John V telling me I got to pause. So I'm going to try to pause.
Oh, really? Yeah, he's quality control. He's quality control. There you go.
Things I'm trying to say. But yeah, just the way the game was just playing out early on, it was frustrating. And I kind of expected a little bit from Purdy, but I kind of did it in a way too, because we've seen him be so poised. We've seen him go into Seattle. We've seen him go against the Raiders when our defense played like absolute garbage. And he was able to, manufacture, points to get us back in that game. We were down. So I was expecting him to play kind of nervous, but at the same time, I think we were spoiled a little bit by how well he's played in different situations. I remember The topic that I had on the screen, either it was Monday or on the Friday show, was Purdy's next test. That was the title of the little blurb I had on the side of the screen. And that's really what I looked at it as. I'm like, he keeps having these little tests that he has to go pass. And he's played a little slow in a couple games where he's come out slow and then picked it up. And to say I expected him to kind of be like a person of two halves, like play one way in the first half, one way in the second half. I didn't think it would be that dramatic, but at the same time, he's done nothing but amaze 49er fans. So whatever, man. I don't care. I don't care how it started as long as it finished the right way.
Yes, sir. You got that right. Who's that guy? Was it Drake? Started from the bottom. Now we're here. Speaking of which, we got a really great caller for the Grant Cohn Show, Korean 49er. Taking the calls in on a first come, first save. It's going to drop the link in one more time. And got a couple people waiting. And we got Korean 49er here. What's up, Korean 49er? How you feeling after today's game, man?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Doing good, man. And for the record, last time we spoke, I asked you about Kyle Shanahan, and you brought up some Greek mythology character. I had to research him a bit, and so I did that for you because you were telling me how there's this Greek mythology character that always has to roll the ball up the hill, and he's always back to square one with the same problem over again. Whenever he thinks he's going to get over the hump, he falls back down, basically. So hopefully that's not the case with Kyle this time around. That's why I brought it up to you about your thoughts about Kyle. And a lot of people are kind of iffy about Kyle, and I kind of get it with what's happened in the past. I know.
So in the end, it was a good win. All you could ask for is a win in the playoffs. They don't ask you how much; they ask you how many. And people don't like hearing that, but do you remember the old Cowboys Hurricanes coach Jimmy Johnson?
He said he could always remember him.
He said he could always defend winning. He can't defend losing.
True. There you go.
So, go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead.
So, I thought the Seahawks would give at least a puncher's chance in the first half, and they did. But we can't be giving opposing teams chances like what Jimmy Ward did at the end of the first half. I mean,
100% agree.
Okay, you already gave up good field position on the squib kick. It is what it is. But then you compound it by giving them a chance at points and they convert. But hey, it is what it is. There's another half of football, and the team came out and played the way they should have in the second half. And now we're going to see who the next opponent is.
Yeah, that just seemed like that typical Seattle Seahawks luck bullshit that we always encounter from way back when Richard Sherman was on the team. Just some silliness that you totally never expect to happen. And there was only 9 seconds on the clock when Geno Smith took the snap on that play. So just terrible. What was it that impressed you the most in this game, Korean 49er?
Like to say that the offense has a lot of weapons. It's always good to have for a rookie quarterback. Just try to find him good ways of putting him in good positions to make good decisions on who to get the ball to. I mean, we all can't remember which half it was, but there's that pass to, I believe it was Debo towards the end zone where the defender got his hand on it just before.
Yep.
Do I think Jimmy could have made that throw? I don't believe he could have. So, but that's another discussion for another time. But one thing for the offseason, the 49ers are in the catbird seat by having 2 rookie quarterbacks under their rookie contract. Why are we wanting to get rid of one when his value is as low and has no left trade leverage?
It's the people who hate Trey Lance because he's Trey Lance. They hate him on a personal level, and then they hate him even more because we're running Jimmy G out of town because we acquired Trey Lance. So they think, we can keep Brock Purdy and Jimmy G and get rid of Trey Lance. Football does not work out that way. Just because you hate somebody, the team's not going to do what you want them to do, dumbasses.
Here's what I say. If Jimmy gets a big money contract from the Patriots or the Jets, good luck, and I wish you well. Go do what you got to do. You got to take the money when it's available.
That's right.
We all do. I mean, in our jobs, if I get a offer for $150,000 a year compared to compared to what I'm getting paid in my current job, I would gladly consider it and take it, depending on what all the fine details. But that's what the game's about. To me, Trey only has leverage when it comes to the 5th-year option, because I don't know how much that will be, but that's after next season. To me, if Brock wins the Super Bowl, maybe that's a different discussion, and we'll see about that. But as we could tell, under Kyle's teams, a lot of players get injured for whatever reason.
Exactly.
Injuries happen, but
you have to keep
don't
both
you always
quarterbacks.
Exactly. What if Trey plays a bunch of games, 7 games, and looks like he's going to be the second coming?
Yeah, you never know.
What happens if something happens to Brock down the road, where he's out a bunch of games and Trey comes in and Trey lights the world on fire, and maybe the Niners never go back to Brock Purdy? You can't cut your losses on Trey Lance right now. The Niners are in a good position. Grant Cohn said it best. To think this is a negative is ridiculous. They're in a great position. Nothing is set in stone, man. I'd say still make them compete in camp. And if Purdy beats him out, then he beats him out. But, maybe Trey Lance looks great in camp, and then we have something to think about. But, yeah, I wouldn't. The Jimmy G era is over. Brock Purdy's made a lot of fans forget about it. A lot of people have gotten really quiet. I don't know if you guys have noticed.
Yeah, I kind of noticed real quick after in that Miami game. But let's see what happens with
I'm knocking
games
on wood
tomorrow
Melissa.
and Monday night. If it's Minnesota, hey, Justin Jefferson is going to be a formidable player to take on, and I kind of dread that matchup. But hey, It is what it is. Hopefully, they'll put pressure on Kirk Cousins and have him throw 3 interceptions.
All right. Hey, Korean Niner, you've been great. We have a huge queue, bigger than I normally expected, actually. But
That's
awesome
good, man.
to have you. And we have a lot of amazing people coming up. You're always the first. You're always the first on Grant Cohn, and you're always the first on my show when you do call in.
I'm quick on the trigger, man. That's all I'm going to say.
You sure are. Take care, man. We'll hopefully see you later in the future with some positive things to talk about.
Nice meeting you, bro.
Later, guys.
Okay, so who was waiting patiently? All right, so we got Warowski. What up, Warowski? All the way in Southern California. How's it going, bro? Great to see you.
Good, man. How are you guys? Great game.
Fantastic.
Wonderful, man. Feeling good. Feeling way better than I did earlier today. That's for sure.
I want to touch on 3 things that was pretty impressive. The first is on the opening drive, CMC and Mitchell didn't touch the ball once. On the second drive, they give it to CMC, and he goes, 66 yards?
Oh, yeah. That was a beauty, wasn't it?
Shanahan's genius, bro. He was playing with Seattle. He was playing with them. Second, our boy Brock, it's in the back of all of our heads. He's going to have a bad game eventually, because everyone does, right? And it was looking like that, but the kid didn't fold, man.
Nope, sure didn't, man. He found a way to bounce back, man.
That was an impressive to keep his calm, to keep his composure was pretty impressive. And lastly, I'm on Team Lenoir.
Hey, he stepped up.
And everybody that was on Charvarius Ward, that he's that woo. It ain't that easy, is it? It ain't that easy. I would have played. I thought the Niners, as the game started, I said, okay, put Lenoir on Metcalf with safety help. And Ward's going to take care of Lockett. And it seemed like they were doing good. And then they switched it, and then Ward started getting torched. It ain't that easy, people. It ain't that easy. I thought Lenoir played great. He got the pick, right? He got that one pick. I'm riding with Lenoir all the way, dude. I think
let's go. We have to. That's who we have, man.
And we knew that when you're going to face the Niners, you're going to have to go after the weakness. We know what the weakness is, but it's like nobody has the dream team. Nobody has the dream team. And Lenoir, as far as I'm concerned, he's holding it down. So props.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I don't
sir.
know. Hiroski, I don't know if did you pick up on all the stuff this week on Twitter where he was liking like all the negative stuff that was been talked about? Any tweet that was negative towards Diamondor Lenoir, I don't know who exactly told me. He was like liking a lot of that stuff, almost like feeding on the negative energy. And I was telling my brother's a Dolphins fan. He watches 49er games with me. I told him, I was like, oh, he kept a freaking like Rolodex of all the negative crap that was said about him. So I thought it was great to him to play well.
It was great. No, I didn't catch that. It's good to hear. He got that dog in it. He wants it. He wants all the smoke.
We better go X-ray him to see if he's got a dog in him.
Yeah, I think he has one. Might be a small dog, but he got one.
Right.
So I thought those. Go ahead.
Oh, just saying, we got a lot of people waiting. Any last thing you want to get off your mind, off your chest before we go?
No, just I just want to say that everyone talks about our defense, but the offense is putting up points like crazy. Bro.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah, last night when I was doing the show, I was saying that we're so used to seeing our defense do all the work, do dirty work over the past few years, but now it finally seems like the offense is leveling up with the defense. Man, it's fun to watch.
They might be overtaking them. I don't know.
Totally thought the same thing.
I'll take it.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. Thanks for the time.
Worldsky, always great having you on, man. Catch up with me on social media. You got to add me on your Instagram or Twitter or something, man.
Have a great day, man. I got to get
you on as a regular guest. Take care, bro.
Thank you, guys.
All right. So waiting in the wings patiently has been Melissa all the way in New Jersey. How you doing?
I need Aaron to knock on some wood because
I did.
That was not nice. But other than that,
about what?
What did I say?
The Brock getting hurt thing.
I don't want him to.
Do not tempt the fates with the freaking Niners. Okay, that's not against you. That's not against anyone. You do not tempt the fate of the Niners. I think we got fucking balls out lucky today because I nearly had a conniption when both Greenlaw and Jimenez got hurt, and then they both finished the game off. But oh my fucking god. Can we take a moment, please, to celebrate Diamador and Hufanga, who've gotten the ire of Niner fans like no other? And it was not the young guys that screwed up today. It was Charvarius Ward. It was Sean Gibson. And it was fucking Jimmy Ward. Like, what the fuck are you doing on that play to cut that penalty?
100% agree.
I wanted to slap Kyle so badly. I was like, this is the guy that you want to wear his jersey on the sideline? Like, seriously? Like, he led both with his helmet and his shoulder on that play. Like, it was crazy.
He hates quarterbacks, but you can't make that error, man. Like, football's all about momentum, and you're right. We got lucky with how things turned out in the second half for sure.
Really lucky. Like, I don't ever wish for injury on anyone. And I've said this to Bash. I've said this pretty much till I'm like blue in the face. But if their center didn't go down and they started getting that string of penalties, like, I don't know if Seattle collapses the way it does.
Not sure. Let me see what's up to G-Rod. He said something about me. He said, yeah, but yes, Bashar, I agree. I've been saying that he's human. Even the great vets make mistakes. I forgot who that. You might want to type again in the chat, G-Rod. I think you're talking about Lenora, if I'm not mistaken, though. You mentioned Charvarius Ward. Yeah, Charvarius Ward's a great player, and even great players may not look so great on certain plays or in certain games. And he, with all due respect, he's going to get up against DK Metcalf. He's the guy looks like he eats steroids for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Let's just face the facts. He's tall as shit. He's gigantic. He's fast as shit. So every now and then that guy's going to make a big play.
And he's a hothead.
Yeah, he sure is. Ward played him excellent last game. That's for sure. The previous game.
There's no such thing as a shutdown corner anymore. It doesn't exist in the NFL.
Was it Eric Crocker that said that or Eric Davis?
It could have been. I'm not sure, but it just doesn't. Let me do it. Look at Ramsey. Ramsey gets cooked.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. There's no Deion Sanders in that NFL.
No, there's no Rod Woodsons anymore. Nope.
And who's the other guy? Revis Island.
It's Sherman before he got hurt.
Yeah, the real Sherman. What up, David McNiner? I see you, bro. He says, "What's up, Bashar, Aaron, and Izzy?" Any last words before we go off to our next caller is Melissa?
Yeah, I wanted to take a moment to thank the special teamers, George Odom, Danny Gray for having that huge tackle today.
That was a great play by Danny Gray, by the way. Anybody who missed that, they missed a really, really nice play by him.
There was one after that too, where they freaking lit the shit out of whoever that was. Like whack! I love hits like that.
I love Charles Omenihu. Like I said before, I was scared when he got hurt, but I thought that Jordan Willis should have gotten that sack or at least half sack at the end of the game. And I wanted to thank Peter Lucas and John V and everybody else who kind of calmed me down earlier because I was cocky yesterday. I mean, I gave the 23-14 prediction, but it's Seattle. Like, this is our 5th win against Seattle. Like, that's crazy that it's our 5th win against Seattle. 3 in a year.
I'm not counting them. No, I'm not counting them. I just want to beat them every time, though.
Oh, no. What they did to Navarro Bowman, I count every single freaking one of them. I will count them till the day I die. Seattle is my most hated enemy. There are 30 teams, 31 teams that I can root for, or 30 teams I can root for outside from my team. The day, I don't care what anyone says to me, I can never root for Seattle Seahawks because of what they did to Navarro Bowman.
They were trying to hurt Debo today too.
They tried to hurt Debo. We were so quick to get that. We're so quick to get the Geno
crazy.
Smith.
Okay,
so we got the Geno Smith penalty, and then they don't call the penalty when they try to hurt Debo.
So what was crazy to me about that was that the play was over. They blew the whistle. They let him continuously hold on to his leg. He extended his leg up into the air, right? Then he tried to pull his knee out of his socket, twist his ankle, and the entire time, Debo kept his composure until he got up and looked up in the ref's face. It's like, dude, what the fuck? Did you not see any of what this guy just did to my leg? And I'm going to say it on this podcast. I said it on Mariah's podcast. I'm probably going to say it on my podcast on Wednesday or whenever the hell we do it on Driving to the Top. It is fucked up that Seattle Seahawks continuously get away with these penalties and dirty hits, and it's not the Legion of Boom anymore. They're not the impressive Seahawks they were back then. And quite honestly, I am so sick of the Geno Smith Cinderella story. I get that you wanted this game to be close. I get that most Niner games are called ticky-tacky, or they let these calls go on Nick Bosa or the defense or whatever because they want these games to be close. But you cannot say that you are there for player safety and not call that play on Debo.
Got that right.
Debo.
Yeah. All right, Melissa, we're gonna go on to the next call. Great having you on.
One last thing, Peter Lucas, congratulations. Trevor Lawrence is coming back in this game, and I am very happy for you.
Okay. I don't like Trevor Lawrence.
Goodbye, guys.
Have a good one.
All right, so we got a couple other people waiting patiently. We got Kenny from the Pacific Northwest. Let's hear it. What do we got in this Niners squad? Let everybody know.
Hey, we got number 1 defense. We got the number 1 offense. We got the number 1 yards after catch. We got the number 1 run game. We got the number 1 quarterback, and we are the best team in the NFL. Straight up. I don't care what nobody says. You know what? Hey, this defense, if you watched all the games this year, there's been a bunch of games where we came into the game slow and didn't do anything in the first half. And that's what happened in this game. Same thing. Plus, Kinlaw is just coming off an injury. So Drake Greenlaw is just coming off an injury. So he was slow.
He scared us too, by the way. He gave us a scare.
Yeah, dude. Hey, that scared the crap out of me. As soon as he went down, I was like, oh, here we go. And then, but you got to put all that into account, man. Our team's done this before in lots of games this year. I mean, lots of games. There's been many games where we started out really slow and then came out in the second half and just tore stuff up, and it could have been worse because there was 2 throws that Brock Purdy made that could have been interceptions. And people forget, hey, man, this dude is just a rookie. This is his first playoff game. So, it was expected. I expected all of this. I didn't, it kind of worried me a little bit when they did that stupid squid kick and then they made a field goal off of it.
Oh, that was terrible, man.
But that, that could have put us in jeopardy right there. But luckily, Menahue came in, made a forced fumble. Bosa got the ball, and we got the ball. That was a momentum
because we got the number one. Kenny, we were in the chat, and I was gonna type it in the chat at one point, and I forgot when I was gonna type in the chat. What point in the game? But I was gonna say, I want this. I'm waiting for it. I'm expecting a damn turnover to happen on this drive. And it may have not been on the same drive that Menahue forced that fumble. It could have been, but I was thinking, I don't know why I told myself not to type it, because I told myself, oh, if I mention it, it might not happen. So I just clammed up or whatever. And, lo and behold, soon after, Menahue forced that fumble and Bosa got it. That was a great, amazing momentum swing. What's it called? And Worski says Niners are a second half team. And shout out to E. Kim says, great show tonight, Bashar Nair. We always appreciate you, E. Kim. Thank you for calling in. Niner Sinkers is here. What up, Beto? Says, what's up, everybody? If you want to call in, Beto, go ahead. I put the link up on the chat.
Hey, dude.
What else is going on, Kenny?
Our team, man, there's so many good players on this team. You could tell by this game right here. Brandon Ayuk was making some good blocks today. He's a great team player.
He did.
Dude, the Seahawks messed with Debo and got a boot up their butt for it. And that's awesome, dude, to see a team react like that on the field. You know what I mean? Like, dude, you want to play dirty? Well, then we're just going to score some points on you big time. We ain't letting you score no more.
It feels good. It feels good to finally see one of those huge, gigantic, amazing highlight reel Debo touchdowns again. Man, good to see that.
It's safe to say that Debo's back. He's back, dude.
Oh, yes, he is.
I had a little bit of worry about Debo because I thought he was overweight, but
Same.
I thought maybe, you know what, this dude needs to lose a little bit of weight. I don't know now. Maybe he's just good. Maybe he's good now.
I think he's fine now. I don't know. He's whatever he's doing, it's working. So
some people like him thick, man.
Yeah, and hey, you got to put into consideration, man. Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, man, they're good players, dude. And so is Kenneth Walker, man. That dude, he's good. And then, I mean, the second half, man, we just something sparked, dude. Something sparked. We came out and we were like, nuh-uh, we ain't losing this game. And Pete Carroll, man, you got to give that guy credit. He's a good coach, dude. He knows how to.
I can't stand him, but he's a great coach, actually, in my opinion.
Yep.
Hey, he was game planning, dude. He knows how to stop really good teams, man. And I think maybe, I'm not sure, but I think maybe Kyle Shanahan had two plans for this game, and the first one didn't work. Maybe he switched things up. But man, our team is gelling. It might take a half to get it there, but man, they did. They pulled it out, dude. We scored over 40 points. So I mean, Brock Purdy, baby. Every game so far, dude, he's just tearing it up, dude. But I am going to point out those two throws that could have been interceptions.
Yeah, one of them in the middle of the field, right? I forgot who he was trying to throw to.
Yeah,
that one scared me. I was like, whoa. Like that was the one, I think, where they said that Deebo Samuel was wide open in the middle of the field. Yeah. And the announcer was like, Brock Purdy stepping back. He has Debo wide open. And I was like, oh, wow, this is going to be a Debo deep pass. But then later down the field by the end zone, it was Ayuk that he was trying to throw to. But the fucking ball, the Seattle defender dove for the ball. And I was scared. I was like, oh, damn, looks like he's going to pick off Brock Purdy. And I felt like we dodged the bullet on that play.
Somebody said something to him, dude, because he stopped all that real quick. You know what I mean? He came out and was just tearing it up. So, but man, I'm just glad we beat the Seahawks again. I don't know who we're going to play next. If there's any
Minnesota, maybe.
If there's anything that I'm worried about, it's just Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson. That's it.
Yep.
They have the deep ball aspect in their arsenal, so you know it's there. We got to worry about it. We got to
get more. We got to get more regular with our rush.
Exactly.
Yeah, you get 3 or 4 sacks, but they come so far apart. There's not consistent pressure. We need more consistent pressure, and it can't be just Debo all the time. We get it, but it's never in bunches. It's like one sack here, and then a quarter later, maybe another one. It's like that's not enough. You need to get more pressure.
Yeah, but I ain't scared of none of these teams in this league right now, dude. I think our team is ready to go, man. We're ready to go. Bring on the next loser, straight up. That's how I look at it. Bring on the next loser, straight up.
This offense has me very confident, which is weird. I thought the defense would, but we can score points. I never thought I could say that with Garoppolo.
Our offense, dude, our defense was way up here. Our offense just came up out of nowhere. Now they are tearing it up. They're equally as deadly as our defense is.
Agreed.
Yep. And we with 41 points, and we were averaging 33.6 with Brock Purdy. We're still scoring points. Hey, last things you want to get off your chest before we go to John?
Can't no team beat this defense, baby. Let's go. Woo! Bring the pom-poms out next week because you're going to need them. Let's
We
go,
got that
baby.
number one defense, Kenny.
Hey, you guys have a good night, man.
All right, it's always great. It's always great having you on, man. Take care, bro.
Yep.
See ya. All right. Up next is the guy who normally does the co-hosting with me on the post-game shows. Just a second, I want to shout out some people in the chat. We got Alice Rebelli. I think this is Melissa's sister or mother. I don't know. Says Panama, love your points. I don't know what she's saying right here, actually, but I'm just saying she said something about Juwan Jennings or whatever. So shout out to her. So Joey Mahoney says the Chargers about to choke. And let's bring on John V from the Locker Room Rant.
Hell yeah.
He's been waiting patiently. I know that you got plenty on your mind. Go ahead, man. Spit it out.
You're muted, buddy.
You're muted, bro. You're muted.
Son of a bitch.
There
What's
you go.
going on, fam?
What up?
Yeah, we're doing great, man. How you doing?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. I've just been listening to all the great callers ahead of me, man. Just a lot of good content. Show's been good tonight, Bash. Aaron, you guys are killing it. So tell me, what's the question? I forgot. What have you guys been asking?
Oh, I mean, you could just whatever you want to talk about the game, what you liked the most, what you disliked, whatever, man. You could talk about anything, man.
Oh man, I at the beginning of the game, I was a little bit frustrated. I thought Purdy was going through it. And and even if he wasn't, like I don't blame the kid, bro. I don't blame him one bit. Like
he's the last pick of the entire draft. He's a
they're he needed, in hindsight, that adversity was kind of necessary in my opinion, right? I remember when a previous caller said, we're waiting for him to mess up, or Brock really doesn't have to carry this team on his shoulders. So there's really no game where he's gonna like blow it. You know what I'm saying? Like today he had to fight the pressure of the playoffs, the nerves, and not for nothing, but I'm over here on the East Coast and I could hear the fans on the broadcast. I could hear Levi's insane loud. I mean, insane loud, right? That atmosphere is probably the loudest atmosphere this kid's ever played in, right? And it's probably coming to the realization that like I am literally in Super Wild Card weekend. I am about to try to win this ball game. I need to win this ball game. Like my thing is this, like, what are they asking, or I'm sorry, what are they saying to Brock Purdy at halftime? What was that pep talk like? Was it Kyle? Was it George? Was it Debo? I'm just curious, like, who is saying what to Brock and lifting this kid up, getting him?
Maybe it's Greasy. Maybe it's Greasy. Yeah.
Listen, if it's Greasy, then that dude might as well just, I don't know, like sign this dude for a lifetime, right?
Let's go. Let's do it.
Because Brock Purdy today, that second half was lights out. Bash, when you were reviewing the game, man, when Brock goes through his progressions,
he did a great job of doing that, by the way, today.
Dude, the thing that impresses me the most is that he leaves absolutely, with the exception of that Debo pass, all right, that pass to the end zone where he missed Debo, he leaves nothing unnoticed. He waits till the last possible minute. Pass, like the last minute, last second, whatever it is, bro. The kid is electric. I don't have any reservations moving forward. Like this kid has me feeling secure as a fan. Like I feel safe and I feel secure, and I've never felt this way. The offense is carrying this team, and I can't even remember the last time that the offense was carrying this team, right? None of it concerned me, man. I had this moment of like I broke somewhere before halftime, and I like started to lose my shit. It was right about where Metcalf catches that bomb. I mean, son of a bitch. Are you kidding me right now? Like, you didn't know that this was, I knew this was coming. I knew that Chewy Pete was coming up with an over the top, they went over the top on us and we're holding our dicks. Like, how are you? What is happening right now? Like, how is this happening? They're going to test this. They're going to go over the top on this team. It's a fucking thing, guys. Like, at this point, as a 49er fan, that a team is going to go over the top. It's like, it's going to happen. Like, it has to happen. If it doesn't fucking happen, then I don't know where the fuck are we? They hit us deep, and every team successfully fucks us with an over the top pass. I just don't understand. They expose the coverage, and they break one, and it fucking happens every week, And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh shit, there goes. Fucking puts it up. I held my breath, breathing in a fucking brown paper bag. Boom, touchdown. You motherfucker. How the fuck did this happen? How did you let this happen? God damn it.
I thought I was the only one that was like that. Oh my God.
They used to call on KMBR, the 49ers flagship radio station. The first season that the Giants won the World Series in the modern era, they used to call San Francisco Giants torture. They'd always call the Giants would always play these games down to the wire, and all these mistakes, and they call it Giants torture. And I always feel like when I see such moments in such games, it feels like 49ers torture. Like, we do come out on top, but at a price. A player gets hurt, or we see these gut-wrenching big plays, something to drive us crazy and make us lose our shit.
One thing that really gets to me sometimes is they'll have these sound bites you hear at the end of games, and they'll say, "Yeah, they showed us stuff that we weren't prepared for or we weren't ready for." And like, how does that happen at this point in the season? You're in the playoffs. You've played 18 weeks, whatever, and now you're in the playoffs, and you're still learning. Or you're still getting fooled on stuff that you haven't seen before. Like, that infuriated me that the 49ers defense wasn't prepared for some of the looks that they were getting today from Seattle. To me, they're a superior team. This game shouldn't have been as close as it was. I still think Geno Smith is a bum. I don't think he's very good. And I hope the Niners said that the last game of the season was a wake-up call, or the Raiders game was a wake-up call. What the hell is this? Like, you got to play better defense than this. Because if you go against Minnesota or Philly with this kind of effort, you're going to get shit on. So,
something, Aaron, division opponents, division games always feel funny. Shit happens. It's bound to happen, right? You don't play a team often 3 times. They know us well enough. It's just their personnel isn't top tier. But I mean, they got 2 rookie tackles. They've got in Sue and Wosu, whatever. They got that dude NWSO. They've got Boye Mafe. It's just like they're gonna be. Seattle isn't gonna be. They're not gonna be bums. They're gonna be competitive. They're gonna be competitive. And Geno, I know you think Geno's a bum, but I mean, Geno is actually at one point. I think he led the league.
He was throwing 70% at one point. And he has the most yards. He has the most yards thrown in Seahawks history.
All right. Well, here's it. Okay, maybe he's not a bum, but I just think the Niners are the more dominant team. Why does it take 2 quarters to get us to wake up? I watched the defense numerous times in the first half where guys were barking and yelling and guys weren't in place, and there was a lot of communication going on. And I'm just like, the mess ups in coverage. Apparently, the safety was supposed to be closer on that pass to Metcalf down the sideline. I don't know.
Gibson was pretty far away.
Was like a mile away on that one. It just, I don't know. It worries me going against better teams, because this is a team you're supposed to be, right? You're that much better than them. Your roster across the board is elite. So, I mean, they busted their butt in the end, and they beat them in the end, but still, like, you come out.
It's the adjustments, brother. It's the adjustments. That's why you see them do better in the second half. They make the adjustments.
Flat against a team like Minnesota or Philly. They'll kill you.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, there's a Philly fan in the chat. There was another one earlier. I forgot to shout him out. There's Dave, Eagles champ 34 says Eagles versus 49ers championship game. How do y'all feel about that? That'd be a tough matchup. And
Very
hey,
tough.
you know what though? At the end of the day, you know, why not? I want to play against the best to see how good we are.
Yep.
Fuck it.
Well,
I mean, I'm not
2-5.
really pressed. I'm not really pressed by Philadelphia. We've already been tested. Our secondary, our defense has been tested by the fastest team in the league. Miami, at full strength, they were as fast as you get. I'm not really worried about that at all. As a matter of fact, I think we match up quite well because we're equally at depth. If you're measuring depth on both sides of the ball, I think San Francisco and Philly are top tier in that respect. But here's the thing, man. I don't know how sure that shoulder is on Hurts, and not even Philly fans know. So, you know, if Bosa gets his hands on Jalen Hurts, you know, and he plants him hard, it's over, bro. Like, Philly doesn't really scare me, man. I think they should be concerned. I think the league is on high alert. San Francisco is no fucking joke, and I'm a homer, and I don't have a fucking problem with it.
Our offense gives me hope that we can go toe to toe with anybody.
We can,
That's
and
the thing. It's more than the defense; it's the offense with a 7th round last pick in the draft quarterback. Like the way we can move the ball is amazing.
Absolutely. AJ Brown is a concern for me.
Hell yeah.
More so than Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is going to be a threat on his own with his mobility, but you're not going to be able to keep that up for 4 quarters of football. You're not going to be able to run everywhere like, you know, Mighty Mouse. Shit's not going to happen, right? So, look, like he's going to have to settle in, make sound passes. And I hope by then we've addressed our pass rush at that point.
Gotta get more consistent with the pass rush, man.
We have. Hey, speaking of which, Menahue surprised me. He had other than that forced fumble, he had 2 sacks today. So that's pretty nice. Bosa didn't get a sack, but he was definitely put on the pressures. And Armstead had a sack.
Yeah, we really gotta step up the pressure. You know, we're gonna have to work on that a little bit. But after today, man, it's just like playing a division opponent, playing a team like Seattle. I'm not worried about anybody, bro. Did you see how much space Ayuk is getting in the secondary? You're not going to get that, dude. Ayuk is too fucking good. Like our run game is top notch. I really don't worry about. Yeah, Beto, I agree, man. At this point, you know, you can't cover Ayuk. You can't. You can't.
John, are you going to go, or are you able to stick around? So I'll bring up the next guy, and I'll definitely let him have the floor. But you can definitely stick around.
No. I'll hang out.
Okay. All right, cool. So we love your rant. We love what you're doing. So I'm going to have you stick around, and we always collab together. So, but I got to bring up the man, the OG, and he's going to drop some crazy, funky voices for us. None other than Beto from Niners Sickness Podcast. How you doing, man? 49ers on top, 41-23 against the Seattle Seahawks. How you feeling?
I'm feeling mighty good. We kicked the shit out of those goddamn Seahawks. Send their asses right back to Washington.
No, I feel good, man. I feel. Thank you for having me on.
Let's go. Great to have you.
What's up, John? What's up, Aaron?
What's up,
I'm feeling good, bro. This
floor
team,
is yours.
Listen, I was listening to you guys, sitting in there waiting for you guys. And Aaron, I love you, brother. You know, I have nothing but love for you, but you worry too much. Stop worrying. Stop worrying, man. Believe in your defense. Believe in your coordinator. Believe that the Niners
I believe in this offense. I believe in this offense because I think the offense is going to carry us to a championship, not the
over
defense.
500 yards. Okay, 300 plus yards for the Rook. It should have been 4 touchdowns in the air, and one should have been total of 5, but you dropped one.
Freaking Ayuk, man. What the hell?
I don't know about you guys, but that was the best play.
That play was sick. Had that went through, that would have been. When that play didn't go through, I wasn't mad. I literally messaged my friends and I told them that was too good to be true to happen. That would have been the highlight of highlights had that play went down, though.
But the way he scrambled to avoid the pass rushers, the way he moved, this kid knows where he's going. He knows what to do. He doesn't let. I mean, in the beginning, you saw the kind of the butterflies. You saw the nervousness. The oh shit, this is the playoffs. Oh man, the stage is big for a second, but once he settled in and once he fell back to normal, the dude tore it up, man. This guy is on freaking fire. He's at a different level, and the passes that he's throwing,
Kyle's play calling is just drawing these guys up open for crazy
Kyle was in his bag
yards
today.
The yak yards are there, man.
For all the Kyle haters, and remember when we were 3-4, trade Kyle, get rid of Kyle. He's no good. I'm like, come on, man. You know, this guy's in his bag. He's scheming up great plays. Brandon Ayuk doesn't need to be schemed open. This guy just gets open.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the opportunity to get schemed open. And then that pass to Debo, who ran on the outside all the way in for a touchdown. That freaking fired me up, man. And, you know, Christian McCaffrey didn't have a real big game, but everybody else stepped up. And that's what we love about this team, and especially specifically in the offense. If one is not really carrying the whole team, you got Kittle, you got the Ayukes, you got the freaking Debo Samuels doing their thing. Elijah Mitchell carried a little bit. I love what listen, the offensive line doesn't get enough credit. I'm a big boy, so I gotta give love to the big boys in the trenches. The offensive line. Did you guys ever hear Mike McClinch's name at all today?
Who?
I was gonna mention his name, that we didn't hear his name, so that's good that you brought that up.
Yeah, you don't hear his name. That's a good thing coming from him. You know what I mean? And did you see that one play by Spencer Buford? This kid was on fire, man. So I like what we did. Yes, was I nervous? Yes, I wasn't like,
what was the Burford play that
lose.
you're talking? What was the Burford play you're talking about?
That when he not really pancaked the defender, but it was on a run. It was in a Jordan Mason run where he just kind of like tossed the dude over. It was almost like, get out of my way, fool, and just pushed him. And it was kind of a clean hit. I was doing a live the game, and a lot of my viewers were like, man, we may lose. Blah, blah. I'm like, listen, have confidence, believe in your team. I go in the second half, D'Amico's going to make the proper adjustments, and the defense will come alive. And I just want to say real quick, for all those that were talking crap about Lenore all freaking week, how he's been getting burnt, the guy got redemption. Yes, he was struggling a little bit today again, but to get that INT from Tyler Lockett was beautiful. The one that really struggled today was Charvarius Ward. Holy cow. I have not seen him struggle all year. Today, he really struggled. Hopefully that gets out of his system and on to the next game.
He looks like he's a little bit of a head case sometimes. Like he gets a little bit, I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like if you watch his body language, mannerisms after he gives up some plays, he definitely, I don't know. It's not always, I don't like guys that get in their own head. You got to like wash that crap away and go on to the next play.
Yeah. I just want to hear from, I know I heard John ranting on here, and I love it. But I just want to know, who was your defensive player in this game, bro?
Mine's O'Menihue, easily.
Oh, he did good today. That forced fumble was amazing.
For me, bro, I would have to say Dre Greenlaw. I think Greenlaw today was phenomenal against the run. You saw him stuff Dallas. Look, Greenlaw for me is just, you know, I would say Bosa if he'd gotten a sack, but it's hard not to pick Bosa because when you look at the pass rush, Bosa is the only one swimming and fighting for every inch. You know what I'm saying? But today, Greenlaw, man, it's almost Greenlaw for me. Like, if Bosa would have made a game-changing play when he fell on that fumble, that was about as good as that got, right? You know what I'm saying? But for me, Greenlaw, man, Greenlaw's a beast, guys. I mean, he imposes his will in every play. He's in on every play. So for me, I'm going to say Greenlaw.
Yeah, it's hard to argue that, man, because he's definitely a sideline to sideline type of linebacker. Him and Fred Warner, you can tell going into the half, he was getting sick and tired of the crap that was happening, and he started to tighten up, and he was a different beast in the second half. That last touchdown the PI on Womack, which he was grabbing, gave that that last touchdown, and it was garbage time. Everybody was already being taken out. A lot of the starters were out. So that game, I don't know. People say it's hard to beat a team 3 times. In the first half, it might have hinted that way, but I knew the better team will prevail, and they started to harass Geno Smith, man. And Kenny Walker didn't really. I think what do you have, like 63 yards and a TD, which was not bad, but we just kind of slowed them on. The one that really had a monster was DK Metcalf. Was it 100 and something yards, 100 plus yards, 2 TDs?
Right.
Those, man, I don't know about you guys, man, but that big open play, that bomb to him is like, I don't know about you. I'm tired of the big ass game leads we give by allowing the middle of our defense open. It's like, I don't know. It didn't seem like the middle of our defense was open for the most part in the first half. Like they were running up the middle.
I mean, you're trying to cover the sidelines. So, yeah, I guess so. But at the same time, you know what I mean? They've exposed a weakness since like week 12, week 13, whatever the hell it was, right? Yeah. When they started, I think it was Washington. I think Washington was the first team to really blow open, this deep play and catch us off with, a bust out quarterback. And then, Stidham followed, and then that other dude, Blau, whatever the fuck his name is. This guy, it became a thing. Like, it's just like, look, San Francisco's going to give up one over the top. It's either going to be a game changer or it's just going to be early, like it usually is early. I'm not good with it, Beto. I think it's crazy. I want to go back real quick to where you said, it's hard to beat a team 3 times. Listen, this San Francisco team was different twice versus Seattle this season in week 2 and in week 15. We were missing 7 players in total in the first two matchups. There were 7 players that weren't accounted for on the field, right? So essentially meeting us for the 3rd time, you're getting us full strength. So we weren't exactly the same team as a whole because we were stronger this time around, right? I mean, we didn't have Debo in week 15.
Yeah.
We didn't have Kittle or Armstead in we didn't have Kittle and Armstead week 2. We didn't have Armstead, I don't even think we had Armstead in week 15, did we?
Nope.
No, he came on really late. Maybe
no, 15 we think we did.
Okay. I can't remember. Regardless,
but I know we didn't have Elijah Mitchell either.
There were 7 players in total in the first 2 meetings with Seattle. So, it is the same. It's tough to beat a team 3 times, but it's tougher to beat a team 3 times. The 3rd time, if you're playing them at full strength, right? Essentially, we now you have to account for every one of our weapons. So I don't know, man. These big plays over the top, they're concerning. It almost seems like, we expected at this point. I knew going into this game that we were going to give one up over the top to Metcalf. I knew that. I knew that. It was either going to be Lockett or Metcalf, more than likely Metcalf.
Definitely one of the 2. Beto, any last things you want to get off your chest before I bring up the next caller?
No, bro. I just want to come on and just to say what's up with you guys and just chat a little bit. I'm excited. I'm just going to enjoy this win and talk about it through the whole week.
Give us that craziness with your voice to pump us up after this win.
All right, let me get in my special voice just for Bashar, because Bashar likes this type of voice. Everyone, thank you for having me on. Seattle sucks. We kicked their ass. They're on their way to Washington with their head all the way up their asshole, crying me a river. Bye-bye, bitches.
See you, man. Always great having you on, Beto. Take care, Niners. Follow him, Niners Sixes podcast on YouTube. You know where to find him on YouTube. Take care, bro. Take peace. All right, now we're going to bring up the world famous Danny Gray's biggest fan. Maybe he's Brock Purdy's biggest fan now, or one of Brock Purdy's big fans. None other than the notorious Joey Mahoney, also known as Niner Joe. He's here. What's up, bro? Let me hear. I want to see you pumped up.
Man, you missed it earlier, bro. You gotta go check out my Facebook, bro, if you want to see me pumped up. But I do got a public announcement that I do got to make to start off the show. I have to apologize to LaDominica Lenore for calling him trash last week, and saying LaDominica Lenore for calling him trash, and that he was worse than Akella Witherspoon. So I do apologize on that. Very sorry. Good to see him step up, though.
I think he's watching this video right now. I think he heard you.
He might be watching. I do apologize.
He's probably going to retweet this.
To Akella, bro.
I did. I said he I even said he makes Akella look like Dion. That's how bad he played.
Oh hell no!
Oh my god.
So I do apologize. Anyways, bang that again. How you doing, Bashar?
I'm doing good, man. I was a little uneasy in the first half. You know, seeing those plays were just Purdy was off, and he was like 8 for 19 or some crap like that. And I was like, oh, I hope this isn't the game where he looks like a rookie and then we lose. But you know, hey, I wanted to say this earlier and I forgot about it. And now I remember. I told John V this. Said to a few of you guys, perhaps, but it's that thing where it's like you'll see doubt will come across your mind at some point in time watching Purdy in whatever game it may be, and for whatever reason, he finds a way to overcome any doubt that there is possibly about him. You know, he'll just find a way to overcome it. It might not happen on the next series. It might happen after the third, 3 series later, it may happen, but you never know. But eventually it happens, and it definitely happened today.
Yeah, man. Man, that was just a great team win. I was definitely nervous in the first half. Not necessarily nervous, but pissed off. I was so pissed off going into halftime. I am not a big Jimmy Ward fan. The fact that he gift wrapped him 3 points at the end of the half was uncalled for.
I was oh my god.
I was so mad when that happened. I literally walked out of the house and started cussing. But it is what it is. I did a John V actually. Grabbing our dicks, dicking around, how to walk out the house.
Gosh. Hey, hide the kids, guys. Put the kids to bed.
So thank you, John, for your inspiration. I do appreciate it. But anyways, second half came out and man, we were just on fire. Connecting on all cylinders, man. Brandon Ayuk, Debo, that forced fumble that we had towards the goal line. Bashar, if you get a chance to go watch my video, go to the part where
reaction video.
Yes, go to the part where it be in the second half. I literally was screaming with my friend was like, oh, just keep them to 3. I was like, fuck 3, dude. We can get a turnover here. Fucking they get 0. And they're like, no, just keep them to 3. I'll be happy with 3. I was like, fuck that. I want 0. Like, I don't want no 3 points. I want them to get nothing and
do everybody a favor and show them your the front and back of your jersey and the pants that you got on, man. Because you're dressed like you're playing in the games.
I don't have the pants on right now because I put them away. But this is my Purdy jersey. I don't know if you can see. It says Mr. Relevant.
We can't see it right now. No, I just see the 13. I think it says Mr. Relevant, but
that's awesome.
No, hold on. Oh no!
Trying to show us his jersey, his Brock Purdy jersey.
Can you see
it? Go, Mr. Relevant. We see it. Mr. Relevant. We see it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but
definitely relevant today, man. Amazing stat line. I mean, we're talking 18 for 30, 332 yards, the biggest output in terms of yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He got sacked once for 8 yards. Amazing awareness and scrambling, getting away from the pocket, throwing the ball away multiple times when he had to, and I love seeing it.
You know what play was my favorite play of the whole game, and it's crazy because it wasn't even a touchdown, bro. And it was the play that Brandon Ayuk dropped in the back corner of the end zone where Purdy fucking got away. All of a sudden, he did a Russell Wilson, bro. Just go back.
That was a Russell Wilson type play.
It was a Russell Wilson type play, evading all the defenders. Started out under center, goes to his left, makes like 3-4 people miss. All of a sudden, then he does like a spin move, comes all the way back to the other side of the football. He pump faked it once. And then threw it back corner of the end zone. Perfect throw. Hits Brandon Ayuk in the hands. And he dropped it. Like, oh, man.
Did he drop it or did dude make a play on that? Because the dude dove.
That's what I was thinking too. But I don't think he touched it.
I mean, he dropped it. He had a chance to catch it, but it had to have been an amazing catch, though. That's the thing.
I mean, Heinz Ward caught a pass like that from Ben Roethlisberger to win a Super Bowl.
No, that was the other guy, Holmes. Santonio Holmes.
Yep.
Santonio Holmes.
That was Holmes. It was Holmes in the yep. I remember that Super Bowl.
Wasn't that the play that the Cardinals fans were complaining that he was out of bounds or something? He stepped out of bounds.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought it was Heinz Ward.
No, Steve Soprino says, how many almost picks? One a game, maybe 3 with Brock Purdy.
At least 2 today.
Do you guys? I got a question for the panel here. As Niner fans in the playoffs, sometimes you get ahead of yourself and you look at like a future opponents. Like, do you guys look into matchups as in like, oh man, I hope we play this team, or do you guys just go into it like, oh, you know what? Don't matter who we face, they're coming to us. So I was just wondering on that, like, do you guys think of like, I'd rather face this team or that team, or does it matter?
For me, I don't care, because if we truly are that team, if we are that. If we really, really are the best team, if we're about it, then I don't care who we play, because we should beat that team regardless.
Right.
To me, with the whole, would you rather play the Vikings or the Giants? I'd say the Giants, but then I'm sitting with my brother and I'm like, you
don't play the Giants though if they win. You know that, right?
We don't play the Giants if they win. Who would we play?
Well, here's the thing. So it goes off of seeding, bro. So it's like you gotta look at it like basketball, how it has its seedings. So if the Giants win, they would be the lowest seed. See, the Eagles would face the lowest seed, right? So the lowest seed, if the Giants win, would be the Giants. If the Giants lose, then we play the Vikings, because the lowest seed at that point then would be either the Cowboys or the Bucks. So it all goes off of matchups, bro, and where the seedings are. So if the Giants were to win, the Giants would be the lowest seed, and they would play Philly in Philly, and then whoever wins the Bucks and Cowboys would come to Levi's for the Cowboy game. Now, if the Vikings win, it doesn't matter what happens in the Bucks, because at that point the Bucks and the Cowboys would be the lowest seed, and the winner of that game plays the Eagles. So that's how it works. Regardless, I'm happy with Vikings, Cowboys, or Bucks. I feel like we can beat any of those teams. But I tell you this, though, I am hoping that the Vikings win, because if there's a chance of us not having to play the Eagles, I'm all for it, because they're obviously the number 1 seed. I don't feel if the Giants beat the Vikings, I don't think the Giants have the team to beat Philly, if that makes sense. I do think the Bucks have Tom Brady. Anytime Tom Brady's on the field, he could win any playoff game. I don't care who it is. I feel like he could go into Philly and win. And I also feel the same way about the Cowboys, because the Cowboys smoked them, and that's their biggest rival. They could go in there and win. And if that was the case, then we would have a third home game. So I hope the Vikings win, and it would give the Niners a chance at a third home game and to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm pulling for Philly to lose, like pretty much everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that as far as preferences goes, if I do have a preference, that's it, because hey, we're gonna be at home for the Dan NFC Championship game if we make it that far and Philly goes home.
Right.
Any last things you want to get off your chest, Joey?
No, man. Aaron, this is the first time ever talking to you, brother. I know I message you a lot sometimes here and there on Facebook, man.
Oh, it's all right.
Keep doing. No, I was just saying, just keep doing what you're doing on your show. You have a great show, bro.
Appreciate it.
Keep doing your thing, John.
You're one of the OGs, man. You've been a follow my channel probably since 2019, 2020.
Right. And John, John, great show on the Locker Room Rant. I love your shows too, man. Keep doing what you're doing. I love you, brother.
Appreciate you, bro.
Be safe, man. Everyone be safe. It's raining crazy over here. John, I don't know what the weather's like over there, but just be safe, man.
Hold up. Was I right about telling everybody not to stress about the rain for this game, though? I do remember telling a lot of people that it wasn't going to be that bad.
Bashar is like the weather. Bashar is like the Doppler. He's like the Doppler.
He's like that. He's like the weather guy that holds the umbrella, even though there's no raindrops falling.
Bashar was right though, dude. He kept me in my place, man, because I was chill. I was kind of freaking out. It's fucking winter here. It's 20 degrees, so it's clear, but it's just brick cold.
Yep. Welcome to New York, baby.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you guys,
Ohio.
I'm telling you, this game today gave me just another notch of confidence. Just this young man just keeps checking boxes. The first rookie to throw 4 touchdown passes in a playoff game. He made history yet again. This kid does this if he's not breaking records in a Niners world. This dude is changing. He just keeps morphing into a better quarterback week after week, and I have no other expectations for this kid. Like, he's checked every box that I could give a shit about. I'm rocking with Brock Purdy until the wheels fall off, man. And
absolutely,
this kid's poise is so goddamn unique, man.
Yes,
He's
sir.
so calm in the pocket, dude. His footwork is impressive. He rolls out. He just looks like, it's crazy to me because when he's standing there waiting for something to open up, he looks like Mahomes in a sense, right? Like, he's got rushers on the tip of his heels, man. And
he knows how to get away from him. He knows how to get away from him.
He's elusive.
I want to give the floor to Aaron really quick because he's actually got to get going. He's late on the East Coast. Thank you, Aaron, for co-hosting with me. I'm gonna pick up the slack from here on out. We're gonna take another caller after Joey, and but let everybody know where they can find you, and I appreciate you having you on, man.
Most of your followers follow my channel, so you guys know 49ers First Takes. I'm on Monday with Bashar, NWO, Wednesdays with Ted H, and Fridays, me, Beto, Wolf from Niner Gang Wolfcast. And it's hopefully we have another week to talk football. Well, we're gonna have another week to talk football.
Yeah, we are. Hopefully we have more weeks to come.
Yeah,
into February.
Listen, I'm like John. I was extremely frustrated in the beginning of this game. I thought the defense played poorly. The mistake by Ward, yada yada yada. We all know. We saw it. Hell, if the offense has to be the reason that we win a championship this year, then I really don't care. I really don't. Like, it seems more 49er-esque to have a quarterback come from obscurity and lead us to a championship and him be cool as a cucumber. So I'm all on the Brock Purdy train until, like you said, the wheels fall off. And even when if they fall off, I think I'm still going to be on it. I don't see a reason.
Well, fuck it. Let them float. You got flooding the fuck out of Santa Clara.
Yeah.
Let them float. Wheels fall off, burn up. I don't give a shit.
Hey,
float,
the West
my
Coast
man.
needs to rain anyways, man. That's all I got to say about that. So
yeah,
I'm going to get out of here, guys, because I got to be up at about 7-ish in the morning. So I got to get going to bed. But appreciate you having me on, co-hosting. Right. Nice meeting you, Mahoney.
Later,
Joe Mahoney.
Take care.
Thanks, John.
See you, Aaron.
Everybody have a great night, guys.
All right, take care.
Go Niners.
All right, so yeah, but before you go, Joey, you got to say it. You got to say it. Kenny's asking you to say
it. One thing real quick. I want to just speak on one thing just before I say what Kenny wants me to say.
Okay, go ahead.
When you're talking about the rain, I just want to say this. I got out of my house because I was supposed to go to Modesto and meet JD and my friends. I went there to watch the game, and like when I woke, it was like 10 o'clock in the morning, and I went out the door because I had to go down to the store to get some stuff for the party, and it was pouring, bro. Like, I'm talking full on pour, and I was like, oh no, and lo and behold, it did that for about like 20 minutes, and then after that 20 minutes, like after I came back from the store, went to the store, came back. It was like it was dead. It was no rain, no nothing. I was like, oh, thank God. And then when I was driving, it was like clear skies and a little bit of you could see the sun break through the clouds, and I was like, oh, thank you. That's
it. Hey, man, the football gods were in full effect today.
Yeah, I was like, thank you.
All right.
I see you, Kenny. I see you. It's all about that number one defense, baby.
Let's go. All right, Joey, take care, man. Thank you for calling in. We're gonna bring on our final caller, and John V's gonna pick up the slack as being our last minute co-host. We have who's here? Let us know who you are, man. I know who you are, but tell everybody who this is.
This is Darwin.
What's up, Darwin? Long time no talk. How are you feeling about today's game, man?
I'm feeling great about this win.
What gives you the most confidence about this 49er team in the playoffs?
I would just say the way we kind of overcame adversity, like that first half just looked really bad. I was like, I don't know what's going on. And then second half rolls around after that fumble by Geno Smith, the script definitely flipped.
Oh yeah, definitely. We needed that bad, man. I was watching. I was like, oh please, don't let them score a touchdown. At least hold them to a field goal. But when we got the turnover, I was like, oh yes. And from that point on, it was awesome, man.
I mean, it's crazy to think how like one turning point can just change the whole momentum of the game.
Hey, it happens. And I hate to bring this up, but go back to that NFC Championship game last year. It would have been nice to see Jaquaski and Tart catch that damn interception, right?
That was that you can't help but smile because if you don't, you're gonna break shit. I would have break shit just thinking about it.
Oh my gosh, we got Nate Dogs. Is it Nate Dogs or Nate DWGS? Not sure, but says what up, what up. Thank you for coming along. We're gonna wrap the show up pretty soon, but with Darwin's our last caller, and we're gonna chop it up just for a few more minutes. Anything else you want to talk about during the game, or if it's about the game that made you excited, or things that you didn't like, or?
I would say some of the things I didn't like is the secondary, and then Charvarius Ward was just getting cooked up today.
Yeah, Metcalf's a freak in nature. He is just. I mean, I don't know how he's not fined and suspended throughout the season. Just look at the guy; he looks unhuman. Looks like a big blob of freaking muscle, and he runs like a 4.3 40 from what I understand. He's 6'4", I believe, and just it looks almost illegal to have him put on pads and a helmet, in my opinion, as a wide receiver. And he's out there though. And Mooney Ward looked nice against him in week 15. He really did. But all it takes is that one play. You slip up with that one play, and boom, Metcalf gets that huge touchdown. Mahoney says, "Bash, don't you start with that tart drop." Pop tart, yeah. Well, you could tell him drop tart, I guess. Worowski says, "Please don't bring up the tart drop anymore." All right, no more. That's the last time bringing it up. He's at home on this guy. That guy, that's kind of crazy, though. Tart, he started us for all these years. Then Philly signed him as a free agent. And then before the preseason even ended, he was third on the depth chart. And we bring in Hufanga. And, hey, man, we haven't skipped a beat. And in many cases, we've improved, man. What do you think about Talanoa Hufanga, Darwin?
I think he kind of looked a bit off today. It felt like he was playing more linebacker.
When did you see that he looked off, though?
In the first half of the game.
I mean, but was there a particular play that made you say that? I don't remember him getting burnt or anything. Maybe somebody needs to correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of times, things that happen early in the game are kind of like a blur to me.
I wasn't paying too much attention to him, but like honestly, he just wasn't as big of a factor in the first half.
I do want to see Hufanga. Hopefully the next game, or if we play more games, assuming we do, I want to see some big Hufanga type plays. The plays that while I'm watching the game, I'm texting my friends and I'm telling them, see, he reminds me of Troy Polamalu. I want to see those Troy Polamalu-esque type plays that we've been seeing all throughout the season with this guy Talanoa Hufanga. And I love the way he plays at the line of scrimmage. And there were times in the season where his coverage was really nice, and then when he had those lapses, and we all know about that. But hopefully we don't see those anymore. Well, this is playoff football. Defense gets more intense in playoff football, and we definitely need him to be at his best. And he got voted to the All-Pros, so his first team All-Pro, right?
Oh, but one of the things I am starting to like is that with Brock Purdy, we're averaging more points per game as compared to when we had Jimmy. We were only averaging like 20-something points a game.
Yeah, great point. Fable JC, what's up, Fable? I see you in the chat. He says Hufanga's blitzes were off in the second quarter. Okay. Maybe they were picking them up properly. I noticed was it Kenneth Walker picked up a couple of blitzes here and there. So I guess teams just are prepared for the blitz at times. And sometimes we weren't even blitzing at all. We were only rushing 4. But usually we are a bit more successful on the blitz in general. Anything else on your mind, Darwin? What's up?
And then one of the things I do like from Purdy is that George Kittle started stepping up, Brandon Ayuk started stepping up, even Debo.
Oh yeah, and we saw during the season Kittle getting those red zone touchdowns. He didn't get a red zone touchdown today, but he did get the. I liked it how the 49ers went for 2 on that after that one touchdown. They went for 2, and boom, it was they threw it to Kittle. They know that Kittle is now an official end zone threat with Purdy at quarterback. Now, would you see Purdy with us scoring more points now that Purdy's a quarterback? Do you think any of it has to do with Kyle Shanahan opening up the playbook, or do you think the playbook is similar, but Purdy's just operating the offense better?
I think it's a bit of both. I think he does trust Purdy more as opposed to Jimmy, because when you see Jimmy in there, I don't think he has the same confidence in him.
Okay. All right, Darwin. Well, we're gonna shut down the show pretty soon. And any last things you want to say before you go?
Oh, who would you rather play? Would you rather play the Vikings or would you rather play the Cowboys or Bucks?
Honestly, I don't really have a preference, but I know that there is the Tom Brady factor because he's Tom Brady, and playoff Tom Brady isn't somebody you usually want to face, even though we beat them and we had Tom Brady screaming at his O-line and we were just destroying the Tampa Bay Bucks offensive line. So, hey, I don't have any preference, but Worowski here says the Vikings. I'm not a big fan of Kirk Cousins in the playoffs, though. I mentioned Brady in the playoffs, but I'm not a big fan of how Kirk Cousins plays in the playoffs. So I'm okay with whoever, but let it be the Vikings. Why not? All right, Darwin. Anything you want to before you go? Can you just scream or yell something about the Niners to pump up everybody? On anything on your mind that you want to scream or yell? Bang bang Niner gang something? I don't know.
Oh, let's take down the Vikings next week.
All right, man. That's what we play, though. All right, Darwin. Take care, bro.
For sure. Have a good one.
All right. Great to have
you. Later,
on.
Darwin.
All right. So, John V, you're here. Hey, Aaron was my initial co-host, and you're kind of like my closing co-host.
I'm good, bro. I'll be a closer, man. Closer.
All right. Cool. But what I'm going to do is really quick. I'm just going to cover a little bit of the stat line that we didn't cover just yet. So I mentioned Brock Purdy, obviously, earlier. I'll mention it again one more time really quick. 18 for 30, 332 yards today, 3 touchdowns. It almost felt like he had 4 touchdowns. CMC, most of his runs came on that big 68-yard run, but 15 carries for 119 yards. Debo Samuel, 3 carries for 332 yards. Longest run was 22, actually. Jordan Mason didn't get the ball until the end, but he had 2 rushes for 12 yards. And Elijah Mitchell, who didn't look that impressive. I don't know how they were stopping him in the run game, but 9 carries for 2 yards. Hopefully he's a little bit better next week. In the receiving game, Debo Samuel, six catches, 133 yards. Most of them came on that 74-yard play. 1 touchdown. He was targeted 9 times. Brandon Ayuk, 3 receptions, 73 yards, targeted 5 times. Juwan Jennings, 2 catches for 41. Obviously, that big, huge play where he dove was a game-changing type play without a doubt. 2 catches, 37 yards for George Kittle. That is, George Kittle wasn't really targeted all that much. He was only targeted twice, actually. But Drake Greenlaw led the team in tackles today, 11. And right after him was Fred Warner, then Diamador Lenoir, and Nick Bosa. They all had 5 and 6. And Bosa had attack. Bosa was just providing pressure. Bosa, you mentioned Bosa was your favorite defensive player, right?
Greenlaw.
Greenlaw. Greenlaw. Okay. I think right after you said Bosa, though. And yeah, I mean, this defense, people were trying to rank it against the Bears and all those other defenses. And my argument was that this defense doesn't rack up crazy sacks like that. Bears defense racked up 72 or 73 sacks. The damn Eagles defense this season, they may not. We actually give up less points than the Eagles defense does. We were the best in terms of giving up the least points. But the Eagles racked up 70 sacks this year. I think we racked up 44, 45. So, I mean, that 70 sacks, only
that's insane.
Only 2 other teams had 70 sacks in NFL history. So 3 teams total, basically. So that does scare me. I was hoping our pass rush would be one of those elite pass rushes among the great defenses. Other than racking up those big sacks, we do a lot of great things where I think we're the epitome of a bend, don't break defense, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. No doubt about it. I think we need to see a little bit more of Ibukam. I'd like to see a lot more of him. I'd like to see Hyder come in and make some, get some pressures. Amenahue, if he's not banged up, I didn't catch the presser today. So did I miss any? Did we walk away pretty healthy?
You know what? I did not catch that at all. I don't know. It always looks like somebody gets banged up during the games and then they walk it off. If anybody in the chat wants to say so, or I can pull up the injury report on the Twitter in a second. But I know before the game we were talking about inactive and inactive players, and you were bringing up how Drake Jackson was inactive.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that until you told me, and I was like, and then when there was a point in time where Amenahue looked like he was hurt, and I was like, oh shit, like great. That's all we need is for him to get hurt and not have Drake Jackson be activated. That sucked. I did find
that ran right through my head. Bash. Our conversation prior. Yeah. I'm thinking to myself, if Amenahue goes into that tent and he is ruled, he's ruled out for the rest of the game, I was going to lose my mind because essentially, we discussed it prior. We're like, you know what? It's probably just the rain. We're just going to go heavy on the run defense, and Drake Jackson's just not quite there yet on the run D. So I don't know, man. It turned out to be for the best, right? So that we dodged a bullet.
And here's the injury report. So Juwan Jennings had an ankle. It said just his ankle injury, but he returned to play. Samson Ibukam had an ankle injury, did not return to play, but he probably would have returned if the game was in question. Kyle Shanahan said so. So good to hear that. We don't have any
that's
injuries.
very good.
It looked like Greenlaw was hurt at one point. It looked like, and he got up and played the rest of the game. So
yeah.
Just want to say thank you to all the chatters. You guys have been awesome. All the callers have been awesome. You're one of the callers. Okay, of course, you also help me co-host all the time, and I always appreciate you. And I had Aaron on my channel, God knows how long, as a co-host and as a guest. So it was great to finally have Aaron on here, and awesome. And yeah, man, I'm just appreciate everybody, chatters, the callers, the viewers. You guys all make the show happen. Kenny says got the number one defense, number one offense, number one yak, number one run game, number one quarterback. Let's go, Niners. Hey, number one team. Hey, number one team. Let's do this. Just let them know about the locker room rant if they don't know about it, and then we can just wrap this up, man. Call it a day.
Bash, I tell you every time, man. Chat, you have a hell of a chat. I love your chat, man. Everybody hangs out. Everybody's respectful. Listen, family, you can catch me at the Locker Room Rant on Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern. You got to do the math for your respective, time zone, because I'm not good at it. But listen, I'm a 49er fan. I got a Bills fan and a Browns fan, two of my best friends on the planet. We all just chop up our respective teams. We cover the NBA, baseball, World Cup. I mean, we talk it all. Anything you want to talk about, man, come into the chat, throw it up on there, man. We'll address your question or your concerns, and we'll break it all down. Bash, it's always a pleasure, my man. Appreciate you having me, always.
Hey, you're always welcome, and callers and the chatters always welcome too. Again, 41 to 23, the highest points output for a Brock Purdy led team. Let's see more of it. And I was saying to people yesterday, I said, hey, man, we've been averaging over 30 points with Purdy. Let's get that Purdy 30, the dirty Purdy 30, whatever you want to call it, 30 plus points. Let's do it. It's again, 41 to 23 over our division rival, Seattle Seahawks. I think this game was a bit tougher because it was a division rival. And, hey, we played them 3 times, but, hey, we came out on top. We got the monkey off our back in that regard. Fable says, good night, Bashar and John V. Peace. Go Niners.
Later, Fable. Good to see you.
Thank you guys, everybody, for watching 49er Minded, where we get into the minds of 49er fans. So keep repping those 49ers and stay 49er minded. Let's go Niners. Let's beat the Vikings or whoever in the playoffs, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. Later,
Niners. Come on, 49er fans. Let's get it.
Because it's 49er mind.
We gotta do this one time for the Empire.
It's 49er mind. It's 49er mind.
We gotta get that brick by brick real quick.
Yeah,
area. Yo, we can't listen to them haters, man.
49
We from the Bay.
49
We them San Francisco 49ers.
49
We got that red and gold blood inside us.
49